Hey, it's Central Valley Business. I'm your host, Steve Walling. My guest for this segment is Jeff Mora with Mora's Mobile Music.
That's right.
MMM. Welcome to the show,
Thanks
Jeff.
for having me very much. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you're a brave soul, man. You said 20 years, and you do weddings and other types of celebrations, and you're still doing it after 20 years.
20 years.
That's incredible. You must like what you do, right?
I love it. I love
Yeah.
what I do. Yes, Steve.
So-
I love being about a party every weekend.
I guess it doesn't get any better than that. But how did you get started in this?
Funny, my mother actually got me into this.
No kidding.
Yeah, she's a wedding professional. She was making wedding cakes when I was a baby, and then she catered weddings also.
Okay.
So I learned how to be part of a wedding from that side of it, from the food aspect
Yeah.
of it, and I got to see DJs every weekend, and I got to get to know certain ones that I liked to
Yeah.
and I always thought that was a job that I think that I would like to do just for fun on the side, and that's just something that I've been doing for 20 years now.
20 years, and it's not on the side, is it?
Back in 2008, it became a full-time job,
Yeah.
and I've been doing it full-time since then. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And you took the big leap. That's got to be all joking is you got to be nuts. I mean, no. What a concept. You are at probably one of the most joyous times in individual's life, right there, and you are an integral part of it. And anybody ever get mad at you for the music you play?
You know what? Every now and again, I'm there for the bride and groom, and I'm there to make sure the majority of the people have a great time.
Yeah.
But you can't make everybody happy.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor.
Yeah. You know about that.
Yeah, talk to my wife. No, we're not going to do that.
So yeah, every
yeah.
once in a while there will be one or two that you just can't quite make them happy. But for the most part, I like to make everybody feel good.
That's great. And, okay, over 20 years, right?
20 years.
20,
Yeah.
Wow. Over that 20-year span, how have things changed?
I'll tell you what, when I first started out, I had a couple of racks worth of CDs. I never used records. I got into it right as I never got into the records, but I was lots of CDs, crates of CDs, and trying to find out how they were. And just the development of the laptop computer.
Right.
I've been able to carry thousands of songs on just a little laptop. It's insane how much more handy that is. And especially if somebody comes along and says, hey, can you play that Creedence Clearwater Revival song from 1968? I can look it up real quick and find it. The ease of that really helps out.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, in 20 years, there's got to be at least one or two weddings or events that you're at that really kind of stand out. And I'm not talking about the fights and the wedding cake being thrown back and forth, but,
I actually don't have too many crazy stories like that anyway. I don't have too many fight stories. I've got one story where a bride actually got upset that she had cake in her face. She shoved cake in the groom's face. You see that all the time, except for this one. She was so aggressive, she gave him a bloody nose. But other than that,
what a great start,
Yeah, to their relationship, right? I don't have too many crazy stories like that. For the most part, my weddings are good, wholesome, family fun. That you hit the nail on the head right there. I love being a part of the happiest day of their life.
It's not only the happiest day, but it's one of the most significant as far as a couple's memories go.
Right.
I mean, there's vacations. There's, probably next to the wedding itself, it might be the birth of their child type of thing. But the most significant time, and it carries with them.
And it's something.
Okay, after 20 years, I got to ask you. After
Let me
20
know.
years, you got some return family stuff. Mom and dad 20 years ago, and now we're doing son or daughter.
That's right.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to get to this
go.
eventually. 20 years in the business,
Yeah.
yes. I am on now. I'm doing second generation weddings where some of them, most of them were second time weddings where they were, step parents, but I've done their daughters now and their sons now, and so I'm part of their life almost, which is great. I'm not just a DJ, I'm a friend to them now. It's great.
How tragic.
Well, it's helped me build a good business and a good rapport with my clients.
Obviously, it speaks well for the product that you bring, and you are bringing a product.
Yes.
And when people, and a lot of young people, when they're making this decision to get married, they don't look at things in that light. Okay, we got to wait. We need a place. We need this. We need music, and but the thing is, and I jokingly asked you earlier if there was, if you had someone that had issues, but music is an important part of that whole celebration.
I'm so glad you said that.
Well, it is.
It
you
is.
know, and I'll collect what you're going to pay me after this. No, but it is. You know, people don't realize that music is so important, because what music does, you know, you show up basically after the wedding itself, and everybody's coming together, and they're all feeling good from the wedding and stuff, but you set that consciousness, that energy with the music that you bring, and people go, oh yeah, oh that's so great. But it touches not only the bride and the groom, but everybody that's there.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I have a lot of guests come up to me during cocktail hour, during dinner, before I've even really cracked the microphone and done anything. They'll come up to me and tell me what a great job I'm doing, and I'm just picking up songs that I think would be pleasant for them to eat dinner to or have a cocktail to.
What are you, some kind of a mind reader or something?
I've just been doing it for a long time, and I love music.
Yeah, well, there you go. And evaluating, you know, the energy and what's going on, you know, that's
I enjoy
great.
that, and I enjoy setting that tone and being in charge of setting the mood for everyone and putting smiles on faces.
Yeah. Ooh. I'm glad my kids are already married. I'd have to hire you.
Well, I would have loved that.
Although I got grandkids coming up in a while. We can talk later.
Keep my card.
There you go. Speaking of that, how do I get a hold of you? That's the most important thing.
Well, I guess the easiest way is on your smartphone, right? Everybody's on their smartphone using the Google machine. You can find me online. My website is morasmobilemusic.com.
Mora's Mobile Music, and that's
I like
spelled
the alliteration.
MORAS.
Mobilemusic.com.
Cool.
You can find me on Instagram at Mora Mobile Music.
Okay.
And you can also find me on Facebook, Yelp. Just Google Jeff Mora, and hopefully my face will show up.
There you
can
go.
Call me. We can talk, and I can tell you that how we can make your wedding day that much better.
And that brings up, before we close, that brings up a very important thing: sitting down with the couple beforehand, instead of showing up and just, you know, putting something out there. In that part of the plan, in that part of the planning, what's the typical experience?
Well, it's funny you asked that, because I do this all the time. I did it twice yesterday for 2 different couples for this summer, and I like to sit down.
People coming back after the first time.
No, these are prospective clients.
Yeah, okay.
But I like to sit down. I like to get to know them. I like to get to know how they met, how long they've been together, what brought them together, what are their families like. I like to know what I'm getting into. If the families have a little rift going on, or things aren't going to be so pleasant, or if they are so outgoing that they're going to want to take over the dance floor. I like to know these things going into it. So my initial interview, and I like to do a couple of them leading up to the ceremony.
Yeah.
That way, when wedding day comes, I already feel like I know the couple, they know me, and no matter what happens, it adds to the joy of the day.
You kind of like the general of the army right before they attack, right?
Yeah, give them the pep talk, get the troops fired up.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's great. Well, listen, Jeff, thanks for being with us today.
I appreciate you
Again,
having me.
how do I get a hold of you?
You can find me online, morasmobilemusic.com, or you can call me direct at 559-381-5902.
Thank you. We've had a lot of fun talking about this, but really, that one event in your life, or maybe the life of your children, or maybe your grandparents if they're getting married again, whatever. Music is very important. Jeff has been doing it for a while. He's got the stuff, and he's on this computer. He said he's got 2 or 3 different songs that he can share. How many you got on your computer?
I've got over 500,000.
Over 500,000. You probably find something there you'd like for your event, and he'll even sit down and talk with you ahead of time to set up the ideas, the concepts, and the feeling that you want in your event. Doesn't get any better than that. Jeff, again, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
And I'll see you when we come back.